I'm going to talk about my Weck jars today. We've had some questions about them, so I thought I would show you a few of my favourites, including the foods that are inside them. So at the smallest end, we've got the 220 tulip jars. You can see they're nice and rounded. They are very, very beautiful. Slightly impractical compared to the 290s, which were my other video. I don't have any to hand at the moment. But they are good for small amounts of jam, but one thing I have found is I don't want to give jam away anymore. So here, this is the 370 mould jar. As you can see, it's a straight-sided jar, which is a lot more practical in most senses. Also, they stack in the cupboard. Obviously you can see through the top, this is apple sauce, still a very good colour, no damage, and that's been sitting in my cupboard since last year. We have also got, many people's fear, this is chicken. So this was raw packed chicken. Again, I like the glass lids. This is one of the reasons I chose these types of jars, is the glass lid. Now the glass lids have the benefit that you can see very easily inside them, so if there is any kind of problem, you can see it straight away. It's not covered up by a metal lid. They're nice and wide, so they're easier to load. Now that can be straight out of the jar. You can make it into coronation chicken, or add it to a curry, add it to a meal, shred it on a salad. Chicken. Here, this is probably one of the best types of jars apart from the 370. I use more of these and the 370s than I do anything else. This is spaghetti bolognese that I have canned. It is to recipe, it is safe, and it has been pressure canned for 70 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure. I've also got in another 580 with the straight sides, which is the mould type again, which I prefer just because they stack in the cupboard when they're empty, they take up less room, and they're just easier. So I've got pepper soup in this one. Now this is a recipe I've safely adapted from the USDA's recipe for your choice soup. So soup again, this is the 850 jar. Again, it's a bit taller. I don't have that many of these ones. I've not found them an ideal size. I seem to be feeding either one or two people or millions, so this is not a very useful size for me, which is why this is still some chicken soup from the beginning of last year. I think it's the only one left actually, because it was in this size. So the next one I've got some baked beans that I did not very long ago, as you can tell. I've got older ones in the cupboard. This was just the first one though. So again, you can see because it's a bit tomatoey, some of it's just stuck on the inside of the lid there. It's well sealed, thing is down. Beans look lovely. I like that you can see inside them. That's one of my big loves. So this is a tulip one. So this is the equivalent of a litre. I believe it's 1062 millilitres is what it's technically known as. And it's a tulip jar. The reason I like the tulip jar is that it takes 100 lid. It's the same height as the 840 there. Not sure if you can see. And just a little bit more practical for canning than the taller, straighter one. However, it is a pain to stack in the cupboard. Which leaves us with the ones you may have seen in the other video I used for canning some potatoes, which is the 580 tulip jar, which is this rounded jar, which is very pleasing to hold and very beautiful, but a pain to stack in the cupboard. So I don't buy these very often, but I do get them when they're on offer because why not? So again, so these are meatballs. If you can see the meatballs, there's a little fat layer on top, which is quite acceptable. When I did the meatballs,